2.5 all day long. Two and a half. Get number 1 all the way on the left side.
No.
Why? Alright guys, sorry I didn't get that on camera. It's cold, I didn't feel like messing with the camera, but first fish, 2.5. Hey.
Jig?
Right here.
On a jig?
Alright guys, so as I was explaining earlier, we are fishing a tournament out here today. Fishing a USA Bassin Next Generation tournament, so it's a person under 19 and their parent or grandfather or whatever, so I'm fishing it with my dad back there. Fishing it on my favorite lake, Geist Reservoir, and we pulled up in the first spot and just caught a good, he was a 245, so a 2.5 pounder. Right under this dock here. About a month ago with my buddy back here, I lost about a 5. If you guys saw that. Got him. Get the net. Oh dude, that's a 5 pounder. No! So there's fish in here. A little smaller. I pulled down. He might keep. I think he'll keep. Oh yeah, he's 15. Yep, that's right here.
Down this
Right on the transition. What? No. We got 2 though. Yeah. Yeah.
He's coming right through here a couple of weeks ago in a tournament, running the guy. We hadn't had a bite. And I said, "You any good?" He goes, "No, we got 4." And I was like, "Dang, we're doing something wrong." And about 2 hours later, we had 5.
Yeah. It's a 3 pounder.
Take care of him and I'll get bait.
Good fish, Dad.
Huh?
He's 2 3/4 at least. Okay, maybe. Put him over here with all the other ones. We ran into one. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a taco bass at its finest. Biggin. We're on the biggins. Keeper.
Yeah. Good job.
Right here. Measure him just to check. Oh, barely. Barely. 15-incher though. We got
We're gonna put number 1 over here. Put 1 over there.
Be alright. There's number 4.
Behind him.
Right there too. It fell off that dock and I just let it fall. And he was just on it. Good job. Good net job. Y'all catching them? What? We got 4. 1 bite. Really?
Yeah. That's how bad it is for me, though. We're on a tube, chatterbait, jig, you name it, I threw it.
We've talked to a bunch of people and not very many people are catching them.
Yeah, I know one other team in our tournament's got 5. Guys need one more?
Yeah.
Gonna have to work for him, too.
They just called one out, so maybe you'll go catch it. I don't think so. What?
We just dumbed our way around. Didn't know where to go. Just
Sometimes that's the best when
It is.
when you're your first time there.
Monroe kills me on. I fish off memory. You know, you catch some on a point at Monroe. That don't mean nothing for next day or whatever. Memory's done me okay here, but a lot of times Monroe, I almost sometimes wish I'd just forget where I've ever caught them.
You just want me to put them in there, or you want me to put them in?
Yeah, you could. You know which one's your big one? Need to weigh 1 for big fish. Because big fish pays.
1 or 3.
Yeah.
Or it can break a tie.
I think it's probably 1. Hold on.
Oh yeah, 1. Okay.
Yep. Probably 2.5.
0.36.
Maybe we'll dip some water in there.
No, because he's just weighing them.
Yeah, let's do that.
pull the plug.
All of them look good.
Yeah.
I didn't get a full out. Probably need to get in.
All right. See what we got.
On 0, that's with that bag in there.
Probably 7 or so. Oh.
8.22.
Well, good job.
Locked on pretty quick.
Here, alright guys, so the tournament is over, obviously, and I just kind of wanted to film this little recap portion at the end of the tournament video for you guys. Kind of talk about how I caught my fish, basically how everything shook out, and just I wanna say a couple updates for some upcoming stuff that I actually have coming for you guys. So first off, I just want to talk about kind of how I caught my fish and kind of how the day went, and just kind of recap the tournament, if you will. So starting out, this was a USA Bassin Next Generation tournament, like I explained in the video. And basically, this is a real late April tournament. It's May now, but the tournament was held, I believe it was April 28th. So late April, these fish should be normally moving up, and sometimes maybe even spawning, but we've had a real long winter here in Indiana, so the fish weren't quite spawning. We did end up later in the day finding a couple spawning fish, but they weren't spawning right away. The water temp was actually, when we put in, around 56, and I think the highest we saw it was about 60, 61. So those fish should be up on the bank, and first thing I thought about is we're boat number 5, so I got a little pocket, what we call up the creek, and you go into this bridge where it's all idle zone. People call it up the creek. It's kind of the community name on the lake, up the creek, and it's over on the left side. It's just this real skinny pocket with some seawalls, some riprap, some docks, and I've just had real good luck in that pocket before, and I actually fished a tournament with my buddy John from Big Rig Bass Fishing in there, and we caught a couple fish. And then I had also fished another tournament in there and caught my whole limit. And like you saw earlier in the video, like I said, lost a 5-pounder with my buddy in there and caught a couple of fish. So it's a good pocket. I have confidence in that pocket. And I was like, why not? Let's start there. We fish all the way back into the back, and the dock that I lost my that one that was probably about 5 pounds on, I skip under with my jig a couple times, didn't get nothing, so I skipped it real far, way up under the walkway of the dock, and I'm working it back, and all of a sudden I just feel tick tick, and then my line starts moving, and I just crack him. Ends up being a 2.5 pounder. My camera wasn't on. It was honestly really cold that morning. I think it was like 30 degrees, and I just didn't want to mess with the camera. I just put it on and just didn't touch it. So that's why not a lot of the fish catches were on camera, but some were, or you got to see the end of them. But caught it on a jig. I actually don't have the jig with me, or I would show you guys like I'm going to do for the rest of these baits. But I actually ended up breaking the jig off later in the day, and it was the only one this kind, the last one of this kind of jig that I have. But it is a PH Custom Lures, Phil Hunt Custom Lures flipping jig, and it's got a real nice archy head, and I was throwing it in the, I believe it's called green pumpkin blue. Everybody, all the other companies or whatever call it Okeechobee Crawl, which is just a green pumpkin with a few blue strands in it. So it's one of my favorite color jigs, and I was throwing it in a 3/8 ounce size. So after I caught this fish, I flipped in there a couple more times after I threw it in the well, and really didn't get any more bites. So I was like, okay, we'll work this out. The water was kind of a little bit muddy, so I picked up this little crankbait right here. This is a Strike King 1.5, KVD 1.5 in the chartreuse and black back color here. This crankbait, I believe, dives to about 5 foot, and this is one of my favorite crankbaits to throw in the springtime, especially when the water has a good stain or is muddy. This crankbait just seems to kill them, and I had caught 16 pounds with my buddy Charles out there a few weeks before on this crankbait. So I picked up that crankbait and I'm throwing it on some riprap, and there was this transition where the seawall stopped abruptly and then riprap started. Reeling it along, just feel one hit it, lean into him, reel it in. It's one probably right about, I think it was just under 2 pounds, right at 2 pounds, and you know, it's 25, 30 minutes into the tournament. We got 2 fish in the live well, and I'm feeling pretty good, you know. So we ended up running down to another pocket that I've had really good luck in. It's actually where I caught the 16 pounds with my buddy Charles on this crankbait. So I'm throwing the crankbait around, not really getting any bites. My dad's throwing crankbait, chatterbait. We're just kind of junk fishing, just seeing if we can get any bites. There's like 8 boats in this pocket, 7, 8 boats in this pocket. Nobody's catching any fish. And so I picked up this little spinnerbait right here. This is actually the one I was using. As you can see, it's real beat up. The head's all messed up here. This is actually an Accent spinnerbait. Basically, if you don't know what the company Accent is, Jacob Wheeler endorses them. He has the Signature Series buzzbait with them. They're just all around great company. I have nothing but great things to say about Accent lures. And this is their spinnerbait right here. This is a Accent River Special spinnerbait. Two willow leaf blades here. Front one is a size, it's a 4.5, and this is in gold, and the back one is a 4, and it is in silver, and then a chartreuse and white skirt, 1/2 ounce. And I'm reeling it around some docks, and I flip it past this dock and reel it right past the corner of the black float. I just get drilled, like it was like a, and I just got drilled, turned into it, reeled it in. I'm not sure if I got this one on camera, but it ended up being like a, it ended up being a short, and so it didn't count. And so we fished around the docks, and there's kind of this little point where there's kind of a little rocky drop off, like a little shell bar or a ledge type deal. And so I picked up this jerkbait right here, because the water was pretty clear, but I picked up this jerkbait right here. This is actually a Megabass Vision 110 jerkbait, and I was making real long casts. I was twitch, letting it pause, twitch, just kind of really doing it erratically and just really no pattern whatsoever. And I ended up catching another short with that, and I was like, okay, well this kind of sucks. We're catching shorts in here, and so I went back and fished another dock that I've caught fish on before, didn't catch anything, so we pulled in front of this other boat, kind of put the trolling motor on high, got in front of this other boat, and my dad actually picked up a, it was actually a KVD 1.5 crankbait, but in the red crawl color, and he's throwing it, and he goes, good one, and he was like, net, and so we netted up, and it's like a same size as the first one I catch, and I was like, all right, we have 3 fish in the boat now. This is good. We're good, because everybody we talked to had no fish or 1 fish. So like, okay, we're doing pretty good. So then we leave there, we pull into another pocket. So I pick the spinnerbait back up, I flip it in between like a ski lift and a dock. It ends up landing on the dock, and I pull it off the dock. And I don't remember what I did, but I didn't start reeling, and it fell to the bottom, and then I started reeling, and he was just on there. And this one kept just barely 14 inches. I think he was like 14 3/4, so basically a 15 incher. But he kept, and that came on the Accent spinnerbait as well. Now, one other bait that I also did throw is this bladed jig or a chatterbait right here. And the trailer that I'm using on all my bladed jigs, this is by far the best chatterbait trailer or bladed jig trailer that I've seen, that I've thrown. I've thrown a lot of stuff. I mean, just about anything you can imagine, I've thrown it on a chatterbait. It's 3.5 inch, kind of little shad looking thing with 3 swim slots, so it swims, you know, wiggles real good. This is a Lake Fork Trophy Lures 3.5 inch live magic shad. This one is in the brim color, kind of an orange translucent color, and I was just throwing it on this brim colored chatterbait, and this is just, you can't beat that chatterbait trailer. That is just one of the best chatterbait trailers out there, if not the best, and that's what I'm going to be throwing on all my chatterbaits from now on, because it has the best action out of all the trailers I've thrown, and it's a great chatterbait trailer. Check it out if you haven't. I'll put a link down in the description. So that's pretty much what we did that day, and we couldn't find number 5. We ran all over that lake for 3.5, 4 hours trying to find number 5. We come into weigh in. The person who won, we ended up tying big bass for 236 with them. Someone else came in with a 330 that won big bass, but the person that won, we got 3rd place in this tournament, and the team that won beat us by 1 pound 5 ounces. So pretty much in any 14-inch fish that you catch is gonna be 1 pound 5 ounces. I mean, one of my shorts I feel like would have weighed that much. So they beat us by a pound 5 ounces. So if we would have had number 5, we would have won the tournament, which would have been pretty nice payday, you know. So that kind of stinks, but you know, it is what it is, and learn from your mistakes. And that's why they have a 5 bass limit. That's why they don't have 4. That's why they have 5. One thing I want to talk about real quick is that this weekend is actually the second tour event or trail event for Indiana Bass Nation High School. The first tournament was down on Patoka Lake, and let me give you guys a little background story. There was 146 boats, and 135 of them blanked, including me. So if that gives you a kind of a little idea of how tough it was and how bad that lake is, I mean, it's terrible. You put 135 or 146 boats on a lake, and you think at least half of them would weigh in at least 1 fish. Nope. Nobody. There was only 11 boats that weighed in a fish. So good news is I'm 12th in points going into the second trail event, which actually we're leaving for tomorrow to go to start practice. I planned on doing kind of a series, a vlog series of all the tournaments, but I didn't catch any fish in that series. So if you guys want to see that video, if you guys want to see the video from the first tour event where I finished 12th, tied with 134 other boats for 12th. If you guys want to see that video, let me know, and I'd be happy to upload it. You guys can see the struggle that we went through. But other than that, I'm just going to skip that and start with the next trail event. So the next trail event is on Brookville Lake over by Ohio, Brookville, Indiana, real close to the Ohio border. And it's gonna be a lot better than Patoka, I can tell you that. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, we're about to hit 2,000 subscribers. When I do hit 2,000 subscribers, we are gonna do a massive giveaway. I'm just gonna throw in packages of baits in a cardboard box, and there's probably $50 worth of baits in it right now. And as soon as I hit 2,000 subscribers, I'm gonna do a big giveaway for you guys. So that's gonna be fun. Summer's coming up soon, so we're going to be cranking out some videos. Going to do daily over the summer, which is going to be real nice. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.